This is our spoiler review of the second book in the Vampire Academy series, Frostbite.
This one was a lot less painful than the first one. I liked this one.
Yeah, the other one was better than we expected, but this one was good.
I was invested. I cared about people.
So in this book, nothing much has really changed since the first book. Lissa is now dating her boyfriend Christian, and they've practically melded together at the face.
They're kind of cute.
They are kind of cute, but it also, I think if you were watching it, you'd be totally grossed out. Rose is still being trained by Dimitri, but since the love spell, they're having a hard time putting aside the feelings that they now so obviously know they have.
So Rose has to go do this test so she can qualify to be a guardian, and so she and Dimitri go on this 5-hour car ride, and everything's hunky-dory until they get to the house, and they realize that the Moira that were living in that house were attacked by Strigoi. All of them were killed, but the big thing was that this house was warded, and a Strigoi wouldn't be able to break the ward, but a human could. So, therefore, humans and Strigoi must be working together, and this is a game changer.
Like, everything that they have been doing defensively is not prepared for this. And on top of that, more Strigoi are working together than they ever thought could do it. So everybody's just freaking out, and there are more attacks across the country as the book goes on, and people are getting really worried. So the school decides that to keep people safe for the Christmas break, they're going to send everybody to a ski lodge. I don't really know.
It's just a way to get everybody to this cool ski lodge, some like wish fulfillment.
So they send all the kids to the ski lodge with their families. And so, you get some skiing and having fun and chilling out.
So you have Rose, and Rose is in a bit of a situation because she's been introduced to this Morai by Dimitri. Her name is Tasha, and she is the aunt of Christian. She's who saved Christian from the Strigoi attack. And Tasha is super into Dimitri. And Dimitri is, kind of flirting back. And Rose's world is kind of crumbling. And she's trying not to let her world crumble because she's like, I'm not going to be defined by this.
On the other side, she's used to being with Lissa all the time. She's used to being her main confidant. But Lissa's with Christian all the time, so they're not really talking too often. And Rose really feels like she has to be strong for Lissa. But they're at this point where, Lissa is so obsessed with Christian that she never really has time for Rose's problems, and Rose actually does have a few big problems that she could probably get off her chest.
And on top of all of that, her mother is around, and her mother is it's not really a healthy relationship between Rose and her mother because her mother is a very hardcore career woman, and she's kind of abandoned her daughter, and Rose is kind of stuck. She wants to be like her mother, but she doesn't want to be her mother. Like, her mother's living her dream life. But her mother's
not very emotionally available, I guess is the way to put it.
And any kind of interest that she shows in her daughter is very negative.
Usually.
Yeah.
Like, she does care, but it's not shown very well at all. So she has all this kind of going on, and feels really natural. Like, you feel on Rose's side. You don't feel like she's being melodramatic or whiny. And the way she handles things is actually fairly mature most of the time. Like, I mean, she does slip up, but fine. Like, everybody has their slip-ups.
What I liked was her weird relationship with Mason. Because I think that's something that's not really explored a lot in teen fiction, where you have the best guy friend, and you kind of fall into that relationship just because it's there when it's not what you really want, and how Rose realizes it's not what she really wants.
Yeah.
That never happens.
It's kind of like, oh, you're either really into somebody or you're not.
And she full on acknowledges that maybe I'm kind of into him because he's into me.
And I'm kind of rebounding from Dimitri.
Yeah.
Because I can't have him.
We're introduced to another character, Adrian, who's a Morai, who also is a spirit user, and the only reason that he's surviving and not going crazy is because he self-medicates with all of the drugs and all of the alcohol.
When does that happen in teen fiction? When?
And he can dream walk.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so he's kind of set up to be possibly a bad influence on Lissa.
Maybe, yeah.
Because it's just like, hey, there are ways to get around your
depression.
Yeah, like you don't need the drugs. Like,
yeah.
Come with me, I'll show you a magical world full of magic.
No drugs.
And Lissa says no, because...
Which I was
Yeah,
surprised
I
about.
was surprised too. I thought she'd be like, oh, I said no, secretly just like ditching her meds.
That was like super mature. Like, okay, I have a feeling that eventually she's gonna be like, okay, I don't want these meds anymore. But you know what? She solidly resisted temptation once.
Yep.
And you know what? That's all I ask.
Yep.
That's all I ask. In the last book, Lissa's powers gave her, really cool, awesome powers, but they had a negative side effect, which was a severe depression. So now Lissa's on medication, and that's blocking her powers, but it's keeping away the depression as well. And she's kind of struggling with that, because now she's the only Morai who doesn't have any magical powers, and everybody has, like, water or fire or the Avatar stuff. We kind of really get a good sense of what Lissa's going through, and it's a very realistic look at what it would be like to be on depression meds.
So the way this book opens is also really, really important. We mentioned earlier that Dimitri and Rose are going to do this test. And they arrive, and there's been a Strigoi attack. And Rose kind of realizes that if she was there, she wouldn't have changed the outcome. And so that's a big deal, because in a lot of, like, Chosen One hero narratives, the Chosen One's just like, oh yeah, I could totally fight that dragon. Like, let's go. Like, we'll wing it. Rose is like, yeah, no, maybe I do need more training. Maybe I do need to graduate. Maybe I should listen to what people are telling me.
You're like, whoa, this is really mature and capable of change.
So when Mason's like, yeah, no, we're totally ready. Like, let's go fight Strigoi. She's just like,
are you out of your freaking mind? Those things are gonna tear you apart.
Because at the end of the first book, when Natalie is changed into a Strigoi and Rose faces off against her, and Natalie is newly changed.
So she has no idea what the hell she's doing.
She still, like, destroys Rose.
Yeah.
So if that's a baby, and they get stronger as they grow,
there's a problem. So the big climax of the novel is Mason and Mia, who actually we start to get, like, a positive relationship with, where they're not constantly sniping at each other. Who thought that would happen? Mia and another student, they all go running off to fight the Strigoi that have been sighted in the area. And Rose is like, holy shit, they're not ready for this. I have to go out there, bring them back. So she takes Lissa's boyfriend, who she doesn't really get along with too much, but they're getting better. So she takes him with her, and they end up getting captured by Strigoi, which they almost have zero hope of getting out of. It's only luck that they manage to escape and actually kill, like, a very ancient Strigoi.
Mason is dead now, guys. Because that was the only way they could really take him out of the picture.
Which is, well, I don't know, he could have eventually accepted it and moved on, but you know what? Dead consequences. Hey. I'm fine with it. I don't really feel the loss.
No,
he served his function.
Probably the most, like, one-dimensional character out of all of them.
At the end, they're kind of like a hint of what might happen in the next book, which is the Morai and the Guardians actually fighting together. The Morai using magic and the Guardians using their ass-kicking skills.
We talk about Dimitri and Rose because I'm so weirded out by it. Because I kind of want them together, but still the age thing kind of creeps me out a bit.
I'm just ignoring it.
You're ignoring the age thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why. Well, I do, but...
See, I was, like, inoculated to this at a very young age because my favorite book is The Wayward Tide, and there was a giant age gap there. So now, these days, I'm just like, whatever. It's fiction. Real life! Different story. Their whole reason for not being together in the last book was like, okay, we're both gonna be Lissa's guardians at the end, so if we're having a relationship, we're gonna be more concerned about protecting each other than protecting Lissa. Which, okay, fine, I guess if you have a reason not to be together, it's decent.
But we're not protecting her right now!
So that's what they decide. And
It just reminded me of the scene in Arrested Development where Tobias and his wife are talking about doing the open marriage. And it's just like, does it ever work? No. But it could work for us. And I'm just like, oh god, guys, this isn't gonna go well.
So all in all, it's really looking up for this series.
Mm-hmm.
We're both kind of excited to read more, and it might be before next year.
What?
Yeah.
So if you read Vampire Academy, what did you think about it? What did you like? What did you dislike? In our spoiler review, we didn't really touch on the slut shaming, but I think we covered that pretty solidly in our actual review. So if you haven't watched that, check that out as well.
And yeah, we will see you guys later.